Today on the Ignorant Custom Garage, the RC8 clutch install. As you can see, I've added some 2x4s to the front and rear, supporting it with a jack stand, because the clutch cover itself, which is here, shares the common oil with the engine oil. Tools you're going to need are obviously some wrenches. There's an inch-pound bar, because I didn't have a torque bar that was under 20, and then some supplementary tools. The reason that's there is I can't find my oil pan, and when I break the seal on the clutch, if it does end up leaking oil, then my plan for putting these up on 2x4s doesn't work. Shouts out to Walmart for the bag. So you can see here, I've basically done, it's a 5-point system here on the clutch cover. So the bolts are, you've got 3 long and 2 short, so I'm just going to mark them out. And then here, handy dandy, it's actually 8.9 foot-pounds for the pressure plate, which is in behind, which equals out to 106.8 inch-pounds. I've got the bar set to 107, and then the exterior bolts are going to be 7.4, which is 88.8 inch-pounds, which I'm going to do about 89. One thing to note is, let me just set this camera up here. Is that working? Can't even tell. Too much sun happening. Alright. So one thing that to note is the original hex bolts here are Torx, sorry, not hex, and these are T30s. And Evotech, which supplies the replacement bolts, which you have to use theirs because of the different sizing, is actually a hex, and that's number 6. So you're going to need 2 different sizes when you do this. So let's see if I was right. What I didn't show in the video is I removed the bottom fairing. I didn't figure that you guys would need to see me do that. It's 1, 2, 3, I don't know, 4 odd bolts. So I did those. And I also installed the new gasket. So the bottom one is a short bolt. And I put in the new gasket into the clutch cover. That's a long bolt. Okay, so it looks like the bottom right and the top right are your short bolts, and then your other 3 are going to be your long bolts. That one's so stiff. I get cross-threaded on the first time in. Nope, seems fine. Oh, look at that. KTM. Those back little threads there are a little bit flattened out. KTM costs too much money. Alright. Moment of truth. Or am I going to be doing an oil change? The bike's also been sitting for a little while. Oh, Eurekas. Eurekas. What a beautiful thing. Okay, so that is the inner workings of the clutch right there. It's a beautiful thing. It's a masterpiece, I personally think. Masterful. Masterpiece. It looks like we've got some actual socket parts. So looking at that, I'm going to think that that's possibly a 10 mil? No, it's got to be bigger than a 10 mil, 12 mil. Let's take a look. Nope. Maybe it is a 10 mil. And it is. So we have a 10 mil on the pressure springs. So I'm just going to get socket here. Alright, so we'll start on the bottom. Take the pressure off of that. Okay. Now because these are springs, I don't assume that it's going to come out with ease. Oh, it kind of is. And because it's springs and they're under spring tension, you're going to want to undo them a little bit at a time, because the pressure is obviously pushing on the plate. So I'm doing all of this by hand. I don't suggest anybody use power tools for something like this. Quite a lot of tension there. Okay, and we are free. So that is my top bolt. My bottom left, or my number 2. There goes the spring, or the plate, sorry. And my number 3 bolt. So there's the old pressure plate. There's some corrosion, some rust. Don't know what that is. I'm surprised to see that actually. Might have been from when I started breaking in the engine originally. Maybe, I don't know. Our new Evotech ring. Number 1 bolt going back to the number 1's position. 2 back to 2. 3 into 3. So basically, as soon as I start to feel this tighten or bite, I'm changing it around. Note to self, if I continue to want to make videos, I should do something better with my camera mount. So I'm doing about 5 or 6 rotations as I go along this, because obviously I don't want to have uneven pressure. With it being 3 mounted like this, it's not really going to be possible to do a star pattern like I will be doing with the tightening of the clutch cover. There goes my camera mount. As I'm getting a little bit closer to the tightening. So as soon as it tightened up to the point that it's flush now, as soon as it won't move anymore, I'm stopping. I'm not putting any extra pressure or any extra excess in on that whatsoever. So that's the pressure plate cinched down. I know it's not KTM orange, but I just want to clean up this ring a little bit. What I'm using here is a microfiber cloth, because there's still a little bit of where I can see some of the old gasket. Okay, so that's clean. So the pressure plate, like I originally said, gets torqued down to a spec of 8.9 foot-pounds or 106.8 inch-pounds. So I'm sitting at basically 107 on my little torque bar here. Stand by. Okay, so what I've realized is that this little inch-pound torque bar actually makes very, very little noise on the thing. So what I've probably done is over-torqued. So now I'm going to back it off. Don't be afraid if you make one or two mistakes to correct it, obviously. So again, we torque. That's it. 1, 2, 3. That's it. Yeah. Okay. Pressure plate's complete. Clear clutch cover. One thing that I can tell you about the clear clutch cover is that when I was threading in the gasket, the replacement gasket that I bought, the new one, I found it to be very bunchy, and there was like a little bit extra left over. For whatever reason it was. I have a feeling that top bolt's going to be a little bit peculiar for some reason. There we go. So now that we're moving on to the Torx bit, sorry, the hex bit, just help myself out with this, just so that it seats. Totally the wrong place to put that camera. For whatever odd reason it is, these bolts don't want to take. There you go. The bottom one's sat. So that one's in loose. Again, these top, this bottom right and this top right, they were the top two. One of the tricks I found is to get a bolt that's being somewhat iffy on you, for whatever odd reason it is, I flip them. So this one is going to go down there, and this one's going to go up here. And in pure ignorant custom fashion, it's seating. It appears to be seating. Yep. So she goes. You never want to force these bolts. So this clutch cover still has a little bit of movement left and right. So I'm working with that. There you go. Now she's seated. Alright, and that's your install. I'm going to finish buttoning all this down, and then I will do a startup video shortly. Bye for now. Alright, so yes, I need to change my oil. I'm pretty sure the speaker is just going to get blown out by my exhaust, but you might as well see her spinning.